Kim. Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We are super excited that you're here. My name is Mary Kim Titla. I'm the Executive Director for Unity, Dagot Eh. I'm a member of the San Carlos Apache tribe, and we are honored to be co-hosting this event. We are certainly happy to take part in an event that will further the educational needs of all of our students in Indian country. So thank you to the American Indian College Fund, to the Cobell Scholarships, American Indian Science and Engineering, and the American Indian Graduate Center, of course. We definitely want to wish you well as you pursue your college goals. We are here to support you. We want to see you succeed. And we definitely want to make sure that you get those scholarships. So please apply. Please share the information. Reach out to us if you need information. And definitely know that we are cheering for you. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We, again, are excited that you're here, and I'm going to turn it over to the presenters.
Thank you, Mary Kim. And just to let everyone know, we will be recording this session, and that will be shared with you after the event. If you have any questions about any of our scholarships during the presentations, just type those into the chat. We have some of our staff from each organization that will be responding to those while the others are presenting. And then the last probably 15 to 20 minutes will be reserved for all of your questions, which we'll try to get to as many of those as possible. But like I said, we'll be sending you a recording of this event and sending you resources and information for all of our scholarships after the event as well. So don't feel like if we don't get to your specific question that it won't get answered at some point. So I will go ahead and start. My name is David Bledsoe. I'm the Senior Manager of Student Engagement and Communications at the American Indian College Fund, and I greet you and thank you all for attending today. I want to share with you a little bit about our scholarship opportunities. Unfortunately, it looks like the screen sharing is disabled, so I'll need for Greg or Mary Kim to enable that for our panelists first so that we can start our presentations. Okay, so at the American Indian College Fund, we have been serving Native students for more than 30 years. And the majority of the scholarship opportunities that we offer are for students attending, Native students attending really any university or college within the United States. And let me go over some of those requirements for you very quickly, just to give you an idea. For one, our scholarship opens, the application opens on February 1st. So we've had that open for a few weeks now. The application deadline for that is for May 31st. And of course, this is for the next or the upcoming school year. So that would be for anyone attending school in 2022, 2023. So not this summer, but for the next school year that would start in the fall. And you can apply for those scholarships at collegefund.org/scholarships. Now, just to give you an idea of what we offer, the main scholarship program that the application is open for now is called our Full Circle Scholarship. It's actually made up of over 100 different opportunities. So when you're applying, you're not applying for like a single opportunity, you're applying for lots and lots of different scholarships. And what we do is we use the information in your application to best match you with opportunities that we have from a number of different corporate partners, sponsors, funders. You can see a lot of names up there that would be familiar to you. Some of those might be for a specific state. Some of them might be for a specific field of study. Some of them may be for just undergrads or associate's degrees, or if you're attending a tribal college. So actually, when you're applying for us, you're applying for a lot of different opportunities, and we try to match you. So it's really important when you're filling out your application to give us a lot of information. Now, of those opportunities, you're looking at more than $9 million that was awarded in our last cycle for this current school year, and that's to almost 4,000 students. So there are a lot of students that apply and a lot that get awarded. It's very important with your application that you give us as much information as possible. Now, let me talk to you about some of the eligibility. You must be a US citizen. You must be a tribal member or a descendant. So you don't have to be an enrolled member. If you have a parent or grandparent that's a member, that as long as you can prove that through like a birth certificate, that will count you for your eligibility. That must be with a state or federally recognized tribe. You must have a 2.0 GPA, and you must be a full-time student. At this time, we don't offer any support to part-time students, although that might be changing in the future. One thing I do want to highlight, though, is there's no defined financial need that needs to be shown in order for you to be eligible. So you don't have to provide your FAFSA information or any of that info. All of that is, these are the basic eligibility for what you need. So beyond this, let me talk to you about exactly what you need to apply. So the things that you would need would be a professional photo. We asked you not to take a selfie, just something that looks a little good, doesn't have to be taken by a professional, but looks nice. You would need that proof of tribal enrollment or descendancy. And you would need a transcript, but that does not need to be an official transcript. If you're chosen or if you're selected, we will verify your transcript and your grades information with your school. So that's not necessary when you come into the process. Now, this is one of the most important things that really helps students, and especially this year. We have a brand new application platform that we're using. And we have this video. This is one of the first things you'll see on our applications page is our application walkthrough video. It's only 5 minutes, but it shows you exactly all the steps you need to do to apply online and answers a few of those questions. Now, in addition to that, we have a lot of great resources on our website. We have application tips and FAQ pages. If there's something you're not certain about, or you're not certain about eligibility or proving descent, or what the application process is, you can go into there. Those, if you look right here, the screenshot, you can see those related pages on the right. Those, you can access any of those, and that will give you a lot of information too to kind of help you in exploring what's offered. Now, in addition to our main Full Circle program, we also have additional money for tribal college students. So if you're not familiar with tribal colleges and universities, they are accredited institutions that offer vocational bachelor's and even graduate programs. We work with about 35 schools, and that's kind of increasing over time. They offer really fantastic programs. Most of them are on or near reservations, so there's a lot of good access to those who may be in Indian country. And a lot of the classes and offerings and even the support that they offer to students is very infused with traditional knowledge and culture of those institutions. And of course, they offer really fantastic familial support to all their students. Class sizes are smaller. The professors know the students very well and help them to be successful. And a lot of them are helping them to maybe finish their associate's degree or take a first step in higher ed and then transfer to maybe a larger state school or another institution that may have the program that they need for a bachelor's or a graduate degree program. So always like to point that out. Another thing I want to mention is we do offer some additional supports to our students. Many of our scholarships include coaching support and other resources. Some of those might be internship placement and career planning resources. We have conference and event opportunities that are included with some of our scholarships. And if you become a scholar of the College Fund, you can also apply to be a part of our Student Ambassador program, which is a really fantastic leadership and representation program where you can actually share your experience with others, especially those that we're looking for to fund other students and kind of help other students to have the same type of support. The last things that I'll mention really quick is we offer a lot of great additional resources. One of these is 2 newsletters we offer, a scholarships and an internship newsletter. You can find those at collegefund.org/stay-connected. We have really tens of thousands of students that receive that every month. We offer some great guidebooks, both in college going and in career. We offer a Connect platform, which is great for networking with Native professionals and education people, and Focus 2, which is a great, kind of career and education assessment tool they can use if you're not quite sure what you want to study or what area you want to go into. And finally, I would encourage you to follow us on social media. We are posting new opportunities, newsletters, news about Indian country every single day. We're also on TikTok now. And you can also find a lot of these resources that I've mentioned on our Native Pathways kind of hub, which is collegefund.org/native pathways. But finally, if you need to apply, this is our scholarships page. collegefund.org/scholarships is where you will find us and where you would apply. It's the only place you can apply. We don't accept any mail-in or paper applications or anything. So if you have any questions, you can go there. If you can't find the information on the website, there's a chat bot. We have staff that are available during normal business hours and lots of other ways to answer your questions. So thank you for your time. And I'm going to pass off to Michael Bates now with American Indian Graduate Center. Thank you.
Thanks, David. I just want to thank everyone for being here again. We got some important information here being shared by all of our organizations. I'm going to go ahead and get my presentation going. Can somebody confirm that it's showing the screen, the present? Okay, perfect. So I'm going to start. I'm Michael Bates from the American Indian Graduate Center. I've been on staff for almost 7 years now. I am a scholarship operations manager, and I oversee a good handful of scholarships we offer through American Indian Graduate Center. So a little bit about us. We're one of the largest scholarship providers to Native students in the United States. We award about $15 million annually to Native students, and we've awarded over $350 million since our inception. Throughout our 50-year history, we have empowered over 16,000 Native students from over 500 tribes in all 50 states. And we have funded students at over 1,700 campuses across the United States. Our scholarships range from $500 to $30,000 per year. We support undergraduate, graduate, and professional degrees. This is just a list of the undergraduate scholarships we offer. We offer over 15 scholarships for undergraduate students. This can all be found on our website. And then here's our graduate and professional scholarships. We have over 25 or so graduate and professional scholarships. And we have a few other opportunities for Native students. We have some opportunities that help graduate entrance exams, professional development, research, and things of that nature. Some important dates to remember when applying for our scholarships. They open January 1st each year, and the deadline is either May 1st or June 1st, depending on the opportunity. And note that the financial need form from your financial aid office is due July 15th. So now how to apply. So you can go to aigcs.org. This picture on the right here is our homepage of our website. And if you scroll down just a tad on the left-hand side, there'll be a little login and apply box. You'll click on that login and apply box, and it'll take you to our matching process. So when you get to the matching process, it'll look something like this. It'll have a little information about our organization, and you can click begin search. When you click begin search, it's going to have this little drop down. You'll click on that and you'll input your academic classification for the 22-23 academic year. So if you're a high school senior, you'll put undergraduate first year and so on. And then when you click search, the system's going to automatically match you with the scholarships you could be eligible for based on your academic classification. Note that some of our scholarships do have specific requirements beyond just grade level. So be sure to read the little line under each one to make sure you are eligible for it. Here in this image, you can note that the little checkbox next to the American Indian Graduate Center personal profile is automatically checked. That's because the personal profile is required by all applicants, and that's where we gather your information that's connected to every application you submit. And you can read the description for each and check the little box for each one. At the bottom, you'll click Save to My Applications. And when you click Save to My Applications, it's going to take you to a page that looks something like this, where you can either sign in if you already have an account, if you've applied with us in the previous year, or you can create your account. Be sure here you use your official name, an email address you check often, and a phone number where we can reach you at if we need to about anything maybe missing from your application. Once you create your account and you're logged in, it's going to show you all the applications you saved from that matching process. So this student, for example, has two: the personal profile, because it's required for all students, and the named undergraduate scholarship. We recommend you do the personal profile first because, again, it links that information to every application you start. So there's about 7 pages of the personal profile. Don't let that deter you. Of course, it's only going to take about maybe 20 minutes or so to complete this. You're going to put in your personal information, your academic information, where you're going to school, And you're going to need 4 email addresses, one for your tribal enrollment office, one for your financial aid office, an academic reference, someone who knows you well academically, and a community or leadership reference, so someone who knows you well as far as your community and leadership involvement. When you put the email address in for those 4 representatives, the system will automatically send them their form to complete. So be sure you don't have any typos in your email addresses, and you put those in a timely manner and allow those representatives plenty of ample time to submit their portion. Once you complete the first 6 steps of the personal profile, it'll take you to the submission page. You can read the requirements here, you can sign a date and submit. Once you do that, the system will then, like I said, pull that information to every application you submit. So here's what one application would look like. The first question it asks for is a personal statement. And this is where you can describe your professional, career, and academic interests and goals. Be sure to talk about your career path you plan to do, your major you chose, and why you chose that, and why you're passionate about that career. Be sure you have someone proofread your essays and make sure you don't have any typos in there as well. The next question it's going to ask for is just a list of a few things. You can, on the first one, you can list your most recent employment and internship positions. The next one, you can list your most recent community service engagement opportunities. And finally, you can list your most recent leadership roles. And then at the end of the application, it's going to ask for one more question. It's not a required question, but I do recommend you complete it as it is part of the scoring process. This is where you can really tell us anything about yourself, make yourself stand out, anything that makes you unique as a candidate, any obstacles or challenges you might have overcome in the recent years. And then you can sign, submit, and date it and submit it, and you're done with that application. Be sure to save your essays from these, as many of our applications are similar, and you can maybe modify your essay from one to the next and so on. That's pretty much a quick overview of our scholarship application process. We are going to have a more in-depth application process webinar here in a few weeks, and we're going to share that information for you in the chat here. My colleague Roanna will share the link to register for that event. If you do have any questions along the way, you can email us or call us here. This is an email address for our scholarship operations team if you have any questions specifically for any of us. I also recommend following us on social media. This is where we post any opportunities we may have. We have deadline reminders or anything of that nature. With that, I'm going to pass it on to the next presenter.
Is that me?
Yeah,
Yes.
Johnny, you're next.
I'm sorry. So hello, I'm Dr. Johnny Pula. I'm with American Indian Science and Engineering Society. I'm the Director of Student Success for ACES. Sorry I was late. I had some problems with technical issues, but I'm here on representing the scholarship. So I'm going to go into our scholarship slide, and I hope I can share this with you correctly. Okay, can everybody see my screen? All right. So like I said, my name is Dr. Johnny Pula. My pronouns are he, him, and his. I'm sorry if they did introductions earlier. Like I said, I was a little bit late. I'm a citizen of the Delaware Nation, but I'm also Kiowa, Cherokee, Apache in Delaware. There's my email, and you can contact me or any of my team for questions. So I want to share this because we are a little different from all the other organizations. Because we are ACES, our mission is to increase the number of underrepresented Indigenous students in the STEM field. So our scholarships are going to be centered around STEM, so science, technology, engineering, and math. So all of our scholarships have something to do with those 4 areas. So we're unlike the rest of the scholarship providers in that ours are very specific to one area. So I just wanted to get that point across as we begin. So we do have a scholarship site, and this is our link here. I would try to go to the site, but I'm afraid I might mess something up, but you're welcome to join the site. This has all of our scholarships too. So for the 22-23 year, we actually have 12 scholarships, and these are our list here, and a lot of our funders are different STEM organizations, Intel, Chevron, Aristocrat, 3M, but these are the ones we have this year, and we've actually increased our number of scholarships by about 25–30%. So we have a lot more scholarships for our students this year. I'm really excited about that. So one thing about our scholarships open January 31st. So they've opened now almost about a month or 2 months, or yeah, about a month. And they'll close May 31st. So it's about 4 months to get your applications in. So we extended it a couple years ago, or last year, we extended the deadline. So you have a little bit more time for that to get your applications in. One thing about our scholarships go directly to the students. So they do not go to the university where you attend. You'll get like the check direct deposit to you with your bank information. Also, our scholarships are merit-based. They range anywhere from $1,000, which is our lowest, to $10,000 a year. And like I said, they are only for our STEM majors. So ag, math, computer science, engineering, health, architecture, those areas in the STEM field, those are the students that we award. Like I said, we have 12 scholarships, and we also have some special scholarships just for freshmen, and also we have graduate scholarships. So we have graduate scholarships, including PhD student scholarships. So to be eligible, you do have to be a full-time college student, at either a 2-year or 4-year degree college. A 3.0 GPA is not required, but it's preferred. You do have to be a tribal citizen. We do take citizenships from either a state recognized or federally recognized tribe. We also do Alaska Native, Native Hawaiian or descent, and Pacific Islanders as well, and also Indigenous people of Canada. So we do request that you provide documentation from this. You can even show descendancy from someone who's an enrolled citizen, but these are the documents that we request, and we do have the tribal citizenship requirement for all of our scholarships. And we do take citizens from Canada as well. So this is a lot of our scholarships are open to Canadian First Nation students. Another part of our scholarships is you do have to be a member of ACES. And it's very easy to do this. And the membership link is on our scholarship page, actually. So when you go into application, you can actually click on the link to become a member right then. And it's very quick, it's very easy, and it's free as well. Also too, it's free, like I said, it's free to all high school and to college students. So if you're one of those, it's easily to just join and start your application. And I think there's questions later later throughout the program. So I think the last person is, I don't know, am I last? Oh, Joya, is that Joya? Okay, I'm gonna turn it over to Miss Mosconi.
Awesome, thanks, Johnny. Hi, everyone. My name is Julia Mosconi. I am the Assistant Director of Research and Student Success at the Cobell Scholarship Program. We are administered by Indigenous Education, Inc. So let me just quick make sure that my screen is up and running, and we'll get going here. All right. First and foremost, we want to make sure that we acknowledge that everybody's coming in from different tribal ancestral lands. I am coming to you live from the ancestral homelands of the Piscataway, Pamunkey, and Anacostan people in Washington, D.C. However, our main office is located in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Quick overarching introduction. Indigenous Education, Inc. Our mission is to provide elevated opportunities for high achieving community-involved Native college students with leadership experience through empowering them with an impactful scholarship experience designed to support their success in higher education. And we actually were created 6 years ago this week. So we're celebrating 6 years, and we're very excited to be sharing this week with you guys. You may be familiar with Eloise Cobell or the Cobell settlement. The Cobell Scholarship is a result of that settlement. For those of you who aren't aware, Eloise Cobell was Blackfeet from Montana, and she sued the federal government for mismanagement of tribal lands and trusts. Ultimately, she settled for $3.4 billion, and $60 million of that got put into a perpetual scholarship fund for American Indian and Alaska Native students. So the basic eligibility requirements of Cobell is that We're looking for high achieving, community engaged American Indian and Alaska Native students who have leadership experience or are looking to further their leadership experience and their potential for success, whatever that might look like to you. You do have to be an enrolled member of a US federally recognized tribe, and that is a result of the settlement. We're also looking for students who are degree seeking full-time at nonprofit post-secondary institutions. And then in addition to those basic eligibility requirements, our scholarship is need-based, which means you have to have a demonstrated unmet need, as well as merit-based. So we're looking for those competitive applications. Similar to our partners here, we have a lot of available options. So we fund students who are participating in vocational programs all the way through terminal degrees like a PhD. We do offer academic year scholarships, which opened on December 15th and will close on March 31st. Those do vary. Like I said, we are unmet need-based scholarship. So we'll work with your financial aid office to determine what that need might be. So those will come down the road, and you'll see in this graph here that our max amount offered does vary. And then we also have the undergraduate and graduate summer scholarships, as well as the undergraduate, the summer scholarships, as well as the academic year for both graduate and undergraduate. Our vocational program is year round, and our summer applications just opened this week and will close on May 5th. Our Cobell Graduate Summer Research Fellowship is closed for the coming summer, but that is an available option for students who are pursuing research for a graduate degree during the summer months. So that does need to be research that is being conducted for a degree, for a master's, or for a doctoral degree. So part of the process, as Dr. Pula mentioned, they actually host, or we host the ACES applications on our website as well. So when you go to apply for an ACES opportunity, you're also eligible to get matched to any Cobell opportunities and vice versa. So you'll want to go to our website at cobellscholar.org and complete your applicant profile and your eligibility form. And then from there, what we call OASIS, our online application and scholarship information system, will match you to all eligible opportunities. Go from there and you complete your opportunity-specific applications, which doesn't include references if you're applying for undergraduate or graduate programming. And then we just ask that you make sure you're monitoring your account and your email, because that will be our main method of communication with you. And then if you're chosen as a finalist, we will work on your behalf with your tribal enrollment office and your financial aid office for these verification purposes. It cuts out anything that you have to do. It makes it a lot easier on the student. And then from there, you'll complete a post-acceptance, and which, like our colleagues, we're asking for just simple verification, what kind of classes you're taking, a nice headshot of yourself so that we can brag about you a little bit. And then you become a Cobell Scholar. And the money from there is sent directly to your university for all opportunities except for the Cobell Graduate Summer Research Fellowship, which is a grant-style stipend sent directly to our students. So some general applying tips and advice, and that kind of goes for all of our partner organizations here. Apply early when it opens. Ask when it opens. Don't ask when the deadline is. I think I can speak for all of our partner orgs when I say that the last couple weeks of open applications are fairly chaotic in our offices, and we want to be able to help you through these applications. So if you contact us when it opens, we'll have a lot more time to help you through this application process. So don't wait for the deadline. Cobell is available via email, via phone, and we have a chat function on our website, as well as if you reach out to us on social media. We do prefer email. It makes it a lot easier for us to spend some time looking at your account and making sure that we're answering your question to the fullest extent. We do ask that you read all the instructions. I know this goes for a lot of different things, but make sure you're sitting down and you're processing and reading the instructions. We do spend a bit of time making sure that it's all written out there to try to avoid any confusion. And respond to those emails, respond to any reminders that you get. We're there to help you. We're not there to try to make it difficult. we want to send you the money. So if there's something missing and we need it from you, please be very attentive to those emails. And be sure to contact us if anything changes. We do have some students who are high school seniors and they're not sure where they're going to go yet. We just recommend that you put down your top school, and if something does end up changing, just contact us and we're super easy to fix it so long as it does fit within those eligibility requirements. And then please use those additional comment boxes. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear your stories. When you're applying, you want to make your application stand out. So whatever that means to you, we're ready to read it. And then again, just to reiterate, check your status and your emails often. And then there's a couple of things that we wanted to share in terms of what makes you stand out as a Cobell Scholar. Our Indigenious campaign is something that we're really proud of, and it offers a spot for students to talk a little bit more about their story, and not just students. We've actually had the fortunate opportunity to partner with many people within Indian country to tell their story in a different way and reclaim their Indigenous genius. For more information on that, feel free to check out our social media. And then just a few other campaigns that we do for our students to kind of really emphasize what they're doing and all the amazing things that they're doing and that they are. So we have our student spotlight that comes out monthly, and then we also do focus on some Cobell Scholar voices in terms of allowing students a platform to tell their story and to talk about what they're doing. And then we always love to brag about our students. I know we're not alone in that, but when Cobell Scholars graduate, that we could send them a nice little Cobell Scholar pin that they get to wear on their regalia. And last but not least, please feel free to engage with us. We are on pretty much every social media, including TikTok, so be sure to go check us out. There's our email, scholarships@cobellscholar.org, and our website, cobellscholar.org. So feel free to let us know if you've got any questions. And with that, I will pause my presentation and we will turn to questions, I believe.
Thank you so much, Julia. I know that our staff have participated in your Indigenious campaign too, so that's really neat. You should check out all of our social media pages. We all share a lot of great information, not just about ourselves. As you can see, we're cooperative organizations. We want to support each other, and we share lots of opportunities that are out there, not even they're within our 4 organizations. There's a lot of diversity scholarships, a lot of tribal scholarships, a lot of specific scholarships available in specific fields, and we share those all the time. So be sure to check our social medias, sign up for our newsletters, all those types of things, and our staff will be kind of putting some of that information in there. So I think I'm going to have us kind of go round robin. I know that you guys have been putting questions into the Q&A. I will start first. I'll pick a question, and then all of us can respond to this specific question. So I had several people asking about their specific circumstances, whether they're a high school senior, if they're a veteran, maybe they've taken off a few years from school, if they're eligible or how they can apply. I know that for the college fund, we don't have any age limits on anything, really just our basic eligibility is it. So as long as you have that 2.0 GPA, you're enrolled or descendant of a tribal nation, and you're attending a school here in the US, you're pretty much qualifying for our opportunities. Now, if you've been out of school for a few years, you may still need to find those records from your old school. We will have to have you present those. If you've been a part of a GED program, you can present that, your results from that, and there's an equivalency that translates for that space. And then also within each of our organizations, I think most of us offer support at almost every level, whether that's vocational, associates, bachelor's, graduate. Now, some of us have different opportunities, and you can go and explore on our pages. But like I said, if you don't find a match for what your specific field is, look for some of those other opportunities as well. And I don't know if any of you guys want to talk to that as well.
No, I just want to reiterate what David had said, that there is no age limit. So as long as you fit the criteria, you're more than welcome to apply. And I would just encourage you, it's never too late. Do not be afraid or do not have that imposter syndrome of going in. I just say keep going and keep going at it. I mean, you're going back to school. It may be a little scary, but there's no doubt that you can do it. So I just say, go for it. Just keep going.
I would echo that, Johnny. I know that a lot of our most engaged students tend to be over the age of 40. We do have students who are 17 and we have students who are 65. Like there is absolutely no right time to learn, right?
Yeah, I think for all of AIDC's opportunities to kind of echo everything, I think we only have one that's age specific for youth under the age of 24. Beyond that, all of our other 30 something opportunities, same thing, we have plenty of non-traditional students.
Whoever wants to go next, you can pick a question.
I'll go and bring one up. I saw a lot of questions about part-time. Most of AIGC scholarships do require full-time enrollment, with maybe one exception that funds only the spring term. If you'd like to discuss that with me in detail, of course, shoot me an email and I'm happy to. But most of our opportunities do require full-time enrollment.
I would echo that, Michael. COBEL tends to lean more towards full-time students. It is a requirement for our undergraduates and vocational students. It is a requirement for our graduate students as well. I will, however, say that we do know that graduate students tend to need to have different needs in terms of finishing, and that graduate courses look different at each institution. All that being said, use those additional comment boxes because we know that life happens. So we do want to work with you. Yeah.
Yeah, all of ACES scholarships are full-time. You have to be full-time for all of our scholarships.
All of ours are currently for full-time students as well during the regular school year. However, we are exploring offering some summer scholarships, some part-time things. So that may be coming for us in the future. But for right now, for this cycle, it is only for full-time students within that 2022-2023 school year.
I can jump in next. I was seeing a couple questions if we want to address kind of what our applications look like. I know there was a specific question about COBEL and whether they're short answer or essay. I think the best way for me to answer this question is to kind of pose a question back, is to say, if you're reading the question and you feel like you've answered our question, then I would say that that's your response. I don't want to say it's a short answer and I don't want to say it's an essay. Some folks write 3 paragraphs and some write 2 sentences. I would just recommend, again, to be sure you're telling your story in your own words. And that's what our reviewers really want to see, is they want to see what makes you stand out.
One of the questions I see on the side is about when I said we're STEM specific for majors, I'm seeing a lot of questions like, does psychology count? Does math, all these other questions about what qualifies as STEM. But if you go to our website and you go to each scholarship page, we have a whole listing of what exactly qualifies, what STEM majors qualify for each scholarship. So if you go to the page, you'll see exactly what majors qualify for each one. And you can get it. I mean, if you're unsure, you can see it there.
Yeah, and I'll go back to what Julia was talking about as far as applications. The college fund application doesn't require a lot of additional inputs. We don't require reference letters. We don't require financial need or things of that nature. But the most important part is our reflective questions. So you're going to provide all the things that you normally provide in all of our applications: GPA, what school you're going to, field you're studying, things of that nature. But those reflective questions that really focus on your commitment to your community, where you see yourself going with your education, your career. Don't just put a sentence for that. I can guarantee you your scoring is going to be low and you won't be picked. We have people come to us all the time. They say, oh, I had a 3.4 or 4.0 GPA and I wasn't selected. Well, there's a lot that goes into that, and also matching you with a specific opportunity as well too. So it's important in those reflective questions to give us as much information as possible. Also, not that this is a huge part of your score, but grammar and spelling, all that counts. So in all of our applications, you know what those are before you go into the actual application. You can take time to write that out ahead of time, share it with a professor or a teacher or someone that's trusted to have you read over it. Take some time, really put into it, because if we see that you're putting time into it, it's going to show. It's really going to show. And so that's very important. Another thing that we do offer too, I wanted to note, is we do offer specific opportunities for boarding school survivors and their descendants. So there is a question in there where you can also give an additional essay talking about if your family is a boarding school survivor, what you know about that. And that's something that's very easy to complete and update. So that's another opportunity that we have as well too.
I would just like to quickly echo David's point about spelling and grammar and punctuation and, you know, writing a proper response. I would highly, highly, highly recommend taking the questions that are being posed in any one of our applications and putting them into a Word document or into a Google document so that you can have that additional support in writing. And if for some reason the internet goes out, and you won't lose all of your hard work, because there's nothing that we're going to be able to do to help you recover that.
Kind of go to,
go ahead.
No,
you go, Michael. No, you go, Michael.
I was going to say, you know, like our main scholarship question for most of our opportunities just ask for the personal statement. It is up to 500 words, but kind of like David said, you know, 20 words isn't going to cut it. I mean, it's got to be fully answer the question and really give your personal statement, you know, your career goals, your aspirations, your things of that nature. And then there is also that optional question for most of our scholarship applications that says, you know, is there anything else you want to add? It is optional, but I would, again, definitely highly recommend you do at least put something there to make your application unique and stand out, as that is also part of the scoring process.
Yeah, exactly like what Michael said, that makes you stand out. I know for our ACES scholarship essay questions, they make up 75% of the scoring for your overall score, is 75% from those essay questions, because that lets us see the type of person you are, your potential to serve and give back to your community. So we look at that a lot. So the rest of it, because everyone has, you know, a GPA, everyone has a class rank, everyone has, you know, extracurricular activities, but we really put an emphasis on the type of, you know, person that you're going to become, the type of citizen, the type of tribal leader you're going to become. So we look at that potential, and that's, like I said, 75% of our applications and our essays. And I do mean the Native community, Indigenous community, but also to our entire planet.
One other question that I saw was asking specifically about, what was it? I'm sorry, I had it in my mind and then I was listening to you guys talk so eloquently. Oh, that's what it was. They said, what if I haven't decided where I'm going yet or what I'm doing? That's also an application and a specific question about how our apps work. So with our application, you do have to indicate a school that you are going to. Now, if that changes, let's say you're applying to 5 different schools or 6 different schools, you can contact us after you've submitted your application if that changes in any way. But you do have to identify a school that you will be attending in order to apply for our support. Now, how that translates into your application, just like we've talked about, if there's an area that you can't answer in the way that you want to, give us information about another area of your life, about someplace that you've volunteered, about something you're passionate about, even if you don't know specifically what you're going to do. When our readers are looking at the applications and giving them, you know, judging them and you know, giving a score, they want to know about you. So if there isn't something specific that you can answer in that question, just talk about what some of your goals are, what you want to do in general, even if you don't know specifically, like, you know, I want to be a doctor and return to my tribe and serve people. It may not be as clear cut for you, but, you know, tell us about what you are thinking about, what gives you passion and why you're wanting to get education. There has to be a reason behind that. And even if you don't know specifically what degree you're going to get or what that end goal is, telling us as much about that is very important.
I see the question here about are the scholarships renewable? Most American Indian Graduate Center scholarships are not renewable, but you're welcome to apply for them each year with maximum funding term limits. So, if you're receiving an undergraduate scholarship, you can't be funded more than 4 years for undergraduate, 2 for master's, and 3 to 4 for PhD or doctoral programs, depending on the opportunity. But you're welcome to apply for them each year as long as you don't cap out on those term limits.
I would say for Cobell, we also have a non-renewable scholarship, but like with AIGC, you are welcome and encouraged to apply across years. If you start with us as a vocational student, you can keep applying all the way up through your PhD. But one thing I would like to just add is if you're kind of teetering on the fence, you're like, oh, I don't know, my GPA is a little bit less than a 3.0, or, oh, I don't know if I could complete a strong competitive application. First of all, you're wrong. You can definitely do that. Second of all, we can't fund you if you don't submit a complete application. So definitely spend that time and do it. I know that at least the Cobell scholarships are a bit lengthy, but trust me, it's worth it to not have to take out those extra loans or work that extra job. Yeah, be sure you're applying early and applying often.
And save your work, save your application, like everything you put in, because you can use it for multiple applications. So like what Julia says, yeah, it is lengthy and it does take time. But I think if you invest that time and you save everything, then you did it like one time, you can apply it to multiple applications as long as you save your work. For one thing, Julia's AIGC and our scholarship, we share the same common application. So it's like 2 for 1 almost when you apply for ours because they go to both places.
So I would just add to that, make sure that when you're applying for Cobell and or ACES, you pay extra attention, or even if you're using the same responses to apply to College Fund or AIGC, edit, edit, edit. Our reviewers are very keen and they will notice if you use the Cobell instead of AIGC in your application. Just make sure that you're paying extra attention to those little details.
Yeah, I would echo what Johnny said. You need to make an investment now to craft a personal statement, to know what you're going to say, and you can use that over and over and over again. This is if you're younger, this is something you're going to use in life, whether you're applying for a college or a job or anything else. So spend some time and get that down. And then like Julia said, you want to tweak that language depending on what you're applying for, what you're looking for. And also, I know we're getting a lot of very specific questions about, I'm in this specific circumstance, how can you help me? I would love to say that we could help all of you. I know that we wish we had billions of dollars to give out and we could fund every single person, but it's not possible. So there are limits and guidelines to all of our programs that we offer. Go and explore those, ask questions. And I guarantee you any email or social media question or something that you submit to our staffs, you're going to get answers to those, no matter what that question is. But don't limit yourself just to our organizations too. Again, I will say, look for those specific opportunities in other places. There may be guidance counselors at your high school. There may be people at your current college that can help you explore those. And there's a lot of great online tools, like scholarships.com and things of that nature, even the College Board itself. So don't limit yourself just to our opportunities. And if you have a specific circumstance, there may be support specifically for you in those circumstances as well too. I know some great diversity scholarships that we refer people to as like Jeanette Rankin, which is for older women who are applying or going back to school. There's a lot of great scholarships, of course, for people who are in the armed services, even though you may have a GI Bill. There's those for spouses. There's so many different opportunities out there, and I would encourage you to look for those as well too, because almost none of us can offer you a large enough scholarship to pay for everything, with your education journey. So just keep that in mind.
And if you're not sure, like if it David, like David said, if you're looking online and you're like, oh, I need a little bit extra help, I'm wondering if XYZ, feel free to email us. If we know the answer, we'll give it to you. And if we don't, we'll figure out who we know that might have it. That's the nice thing about our partnership across these 4 or 5 organizations. We're close to the point where we're all here to help you.
And also I saw one question, like, can you get multiple ones? Like all 4 of us, you can get all 4 of our scholarships if you qualify for them. There's no limit. There's no, there's no limit to how many you can get from each of us. And even from ACES, you can get like multiple ones from just ACES. So they're stackable.
Yeah, we've even had some of our recent student ambassadors who have been funded by almost all the organizations on this call. So get fully funded, if you can, especially if you're looking for support in specific areas like STEM or for graduate work or whatever that may be. We're almost at the end of our time, so let's see if we can squeeze in a couple more questions. I'm looking through the list here to see if there's something we haven't covered.
We have a really great question from someone about scholarship taxes and how that plays out with our students. Does anybody feel like tackling that one?
I'm not a tax professional, so I'm going to refer them to a tax professional for that.
So the tricky thing with scholarships and taxes, it's a very case-by-case basis. I would recommend talking with your scholarship provider, talking with your financial aid office, talking with parents, talking with, people who are very well versed in taxes. Like Michael said, none of us are really tax professionals. So I don't want to speak out of turn and tell you misinformation, but definitely a great question. And we can get you some more information.
Yeah, the financial aid advisors at the schools that you want to attend, they can give you a lot of great information about that as well. But one thing all of you should be doing is completing the FAFSA. All right, do it. Complete the FAFSA. It's very important, and you can get grants or Pell Grants that you don't have to repay, just like a scholarship, kind of free money for you to support your education. So that's very important to complete that and to look for other opportunities as well too. But yeah, it really depends on your particular circumstances to whether taxes will be a consideration for you or not.
In terms of FAFSA, I'll also echo and add that a lot of scholarships that have any semblance of need-based, you will be required to fill out the FAFSA, because in order to determine your need, they need to look at your overall cost of attendance and your available resources, which comes directly from any aid offered from your institution or from federal student aid. So definitely go fill out your FAFSA.
One question I've seen a few times I'm going to mention real quick is a few students have asked about tips for re-applicants who previously received a scholarship. Again, most of our opportunities are on an academic year basis, but if you received one this year, for example, you did something right. So, I definitely recommend submitting your application again. You obviously knew what you were doing and you were competitive, but there's not really anything as far as bonus points for students reapplying.
In terms of reapplying, like with Cobell, we've had a lot of questions come across our desks asking, can I just use the same answers I gave you last year? And while we can't tell you no, we would just like to say, please make sure you differentiate it. Tell us something a little bit different. Tell us how you learned. Tell us how you're learning about the legacy of Eloise Cobell and how you're implementing that into your daily life or into your education or whatever that looks like. Because I will be candid with you, we do have returning reviewers who look over the applications. And while the chances are slim that they'll get the same application across years and remember them, because they do review thousands of applications, if it happens and that person's like, oh, I remember that from last year, there's no right or wrong way for them to proceed with that. So just please make an effort to tell us how you're learning and adapting and changing, because we're all human. We're all going to learn and adapt and change. And I also add bonus points if you're plugging how the scholarship or how your education is helping all of that too.
A lot can happen in a year.
Yeah. And those are both really great points. We have the same system too. You do have to apply every single year, but if you've already received the program, it's a very good chance that you'll receive that program support funding again. But just like Julia said, give us updates. Tell us about what you're learning. Even if you copy and paste things that you've done from last year, edit that a little bit. Tell us about maybe a specific course that you took, or something that you learned, or a moment that you had in working in your community that kind of made you realize, oh, well, maybe I want to pursue this. Update those answers. I can tell you, especially with like our ambassador program, which we're very selective with, we see every single year those students kind of writing where they're at, what's happened in their lives. If something happens to you, we want to know about it. Julia mentioned that in the comments section of their application. If you had death in your family from COVID, if you had cousins that all of a sudden you're having to take care of, tell us about that. That is a part of your life. That's a part of how we're evaluating what your need is, what you're committing to, and how we can help you, support you. We do have specific opportunities for first generation, for single parents, for parents in general. So you have to put that information in your application for us to even consider you for those specific awards. So we're at our time. I still see more questions coming in, but all this, like I said, this is going to be recorded. We'll have a link to send out tomorrow or maybe at the beginning of next week. So we'll be sending that information to you. All of you that registered, we have your emails. And all of us, all of our different organizations will be following up with you to give you links specifically to our applications, additional resources, all the things that you need. And if you look in the chat, we'll give you some time to do that. You can contact us directly. You can click on the links to our websites, do all the things that you need to do. But we thank you very much for making a commitment to yourselves and your education, to your communities. In any way that you do that, we want to help and support you. So regardless of whether we actually give you a scholarship, we are behind you 100%. So thank you so much. And thank you to our host, Unity. I didn't know if Greg had anything to add at the end. Okay, Greg's giving me the wave, so we'll end it there. Thank you all for attending, and we'll be in touch soon. So good night.